Welcome back to the Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy podcast. Josh Parvin here, and I'm excited to be continuing this series with you. This guide, again, in this series of this podcast is designed to help you have a calm, confident, capable retriever that wants to please you. So, short recap, and then we'll dive in again. We're going to try to keep these to 10 minutes, and we'll go from there. But last episode, we talked about continuing and kind of expanding, building your dog's confidence in the home. And we talked about you. We talked about focusing on teaching ourselves to think from a positive mentality and to reward behavior that we like. And at this stage, really just ignore the behavior we don't. Reward the things we like so that we're pre-programming our dog to be a reward seeker. Week 3 is where it really all begins. Once you got your pup confident in the home, it is time to actually start the gun dog training. It's time to start early on with the obedience. And we like to start at place. That's the beginning of it all. We're teaching our dog how to place. Now, there's a lot that we teach in this week. And before we go any further in this episode, I want to tell you right now, if you actually want to see this week, it is available for free in our free preview. You can head over to cornerstonegundogacademy.com and click free preview. Sign up for the free preview, and it'll give you a login and access to where you can actually view a preview. And it's going to show you week 3, and it'll actually show you week 28 to give you an overview of what an early week looks like and a later week of training looks like, what a young dog looks like, and what more of a mature dog looks like in training. So I do want to say that, and we'll dive in and I'll tell you what's covered here. But I really strongly encourage you to go sign up for the free preview, check it out. And then you can actually watch the entire week. There are 13 lessons and 40 minutes of content in week 3 alone. So let's continue on. Place. This is where it all begins. This is the concept I really want to hit on here is really crucial. It starts with a reward, a clicker, and a treat. You pair that together, and now you have something that works incredibly together, taps into the dog's deepest level of learning into the brain. And essentially, we are using science to train our dogs. We are programming the dog's mind. We're going basically to the deepest level of the dog's brain, and we're unlocking the potential that is there, utilizing the clicker and treat. And it is truly incredible. When you pair the clicker and the treat together, 2 stimuluses, right? One is really neutral, and one's an exciting stimulus that really gets them excited and activates a lot going on, right? Especially them feeding and all that, the saliva that can come from that once they pull out the treat, they smell it, they're excited, their bodies are programmed to go eat. I need to eat the treat, right? Why is that important? The reason that is important is because when we start training, we do not start with a vocal command. This sounds backwards, I know. Normally, you think you should tell your dog, go get on place. Don't do that. We want our dog to think for itself and problem solve for itself. So how do we do that? We first associate the clicker and treat to basically create that bond between when it hears the sound and it receives the treat. It knows if it hears that sound, it's going to receive a treat. So you got to start there. Associate the clicker and treat, get all that down. Once that is done, then you can actually start training. And so we actually start associating the clicker and treat on the place board. So we put treats on the place board and click as the dog eats. Only when the dog consumes the treat, though. Don't click when it's not. Only when it consumes the treat, as it's swallowing the treat. Then, after that's done, you move to the next part of the training, which is we're going to stand by the board. And because they've already developed a positive association at the board, this next part's pretty easy. But you stand there and you do absolutely nothing. Just stand there and watch your dog. Because your dog knows you have treats, and because it's already been programmed from the week before to start thinking about how to please you, to seek out reward, this is going to naturally move you into this step of training. You stand there, your puppy's going to jump up on you, put its paws on you like, I want a treat. Do nothing. Then all of a sudden, your puppy's just going to brush the board or maybe touch the board with a paw. Click, treat, boom. You just made one next step. Your pup may not understand fully until the second time that it does it. Same thing, jumping up on you. I want another treat. You're doing nothing. Then touches the board, click, treat, and all of a sudden, this smart dog says, every time I touch this board, I get a treat. Maybe I should step up on the board. Then you click and treat again, and the dog's standing on the board. Then the dog is sitting on the board. You have now, without even pointing or striving or forcing or done, without any effort whatsoever, have trained your dog, other than simply being precise when you click or mark the behavior and then following up with a reward. That's all you've done. Your dog now knows you are the person that gives the reward. And if it pleases you, it gets to seek out a reward. This is the basis of methodology at Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy. We train dogs that love to work, not because they have to, but because they get to. And that's where we differ from a lot of people. And I know early on in other programs and other methods out there, they're going to have some fun aspects to it, but we will actually carry this on through the rest of our training. Instead of going on a force-based program in the future, we start here with everything. This is the core of the methodology. Granted, we're going to do other things, and I'll teach you about all that as we go. But our dogs get to. They don't have to. This should never be a has to. And really the same goes for you and for us in life. And I think this is honestly one of the coolest things about the way we train and about how dogs work. It really is amazing. And I believe that God created everything to bring him glory. And I believe this is one of those things because it helps you start to realize and recognize the relationship that we're supposed to have with him. It's not a, you do this or else. It's a, if you do this, you get to. It's a get to, not a has to. And the same thing with the dogs here. As our connection and that bond is forming with the dog, our dog is learning that it can fully trust us, that good things come from us, and that we care, and that we want to see this dog be successful. That's where that bond starts to form right here, right now. And it is truly, truly amazing. The work you're doing now, I know this seems extremely simple in this week, but the work you're doing now in this week is mind-blowingly amazing because you will reap the rewards of this every single week from here on out. We're at week 3, go to week 56 and beyond. You will always reap rewards from this style of training. And it creates a self-repeating cycle of reinforcement. Now, to answer your question real quick, am I going to have to use a clicker in the dog blind? No, you are not. We start this early on. We will what's called fade the clicker and treat out later. But as far as for speed of learning and what it does for the dog, as far as advances their attitude, helps solidify this bond and everything, this is one of those things. Let me just say this too. I understand you're probably like, I don't know about this clicker thing. I've talked to people about this. Let me tell you the truth. When I first heard about it, I thought it was crazy too. I thought this is just, I don't need that. I can train without it. And the truth is you can. But the way I say it now is, why would you ever want to? The benefits and the results you get from this are so great. And I'm trying to communicate it in a short period of time, but in a tangible way. But the way it basically programs your dog and you're getting to tap into the deepest level, really scientifically as you get to it. Basically what's happening is as you associate the clicker and treat, there's a chemical reaction going on in the dog's brain. And the studies have shown that it gets onto the same level as like a drug addict, maybe on a very high-powered drug, very high-powered illicit drug. The same thing that goes on in the brain there, that same reaction is happening here with a clicker and treat. So that's why it's so powerful, because it just solidifies and it sinks in and it creates brain pathways, neural pathways that just start to work to your advantage. So science is pretty legit. You can use it to your advantage. And it works with dogs. So that's my take on it. I don't know why you would ever want to do it any other way, because this just works so well and it truly is amazing. So we start there, we get placed down, we start everything without the vocal command. And this is the model with everything that you're going to teach moving forward. You start with shaping. That's a concept of we are allowing the dog to think for itself. You're also allowing it to make the wrong decision. You're not punishing the wrong decision. Instead, you're rewarding steps towards the right decision. Why are we doing this? Because our dogs are programmed now, the way we are already starting this, to seek out reward. So there is no need at this stage of training to try to correct the wrong behavior. Because again, that is a different way of training. That is not what we're doing. We are teaching our dogs to do the right things, to seek out reward, please us. If you please me, you get the reward. You get this connection. I'm pleased with you. And the dog loves that. These dogs, hunting dogs, typically are bred to want to please. So what we're doing is we're tapping into what's already there. You have this puppy, there's potential there. As a trainer and as a dog owner, it is your job just to slowly pull that potential out. You don't have to muscle this. You don't have to effort this. You don't have to strive at this. This can be something that you do relaxed. This can be something that you do and have fun. This week is amazing. And like I said, the preview, you can go to the website and sign up for the preview. It's free. Give it a try. You can actually try what's covered in each step of the way here in this week and watch. It truly is amazing. What else do we need to know? So those treats, question there, what type of treats to use? I like to use hot dogs, but here's the principle of what we do. Any fast consumable treat, there's something called rapid reinforcement and then variable reinforcement. When you're training this style and in this method, rapid reinforcement is key to increase the speed at which the dog learns. So how many clicks and treats does it take for a skill to be learned? Well, let me go ahead and teach you another concept here. It's called the 4 stages of learning. And I'm going to hit this really quick. I'll link up a blog here if you want to read more on it. But acquisition, fluency, generalization, maintenance. You got to go through each of those 4 phases to have a dog that's foolproof. And this is another distinguishing factor in the way we train here at Cornerstone. We train through these 4 phases of learning on every single skill. So when you compare this DIY dog training using Cornerstone to sending your dog to a trainer, the trainers are training, right? They're probably getting to about the fluent level and then they're moving on, going to the next skill so that they can pack as much value in a shorter period of time. However, there's one problem with that. You must carry the mental on because the dog's not fully trained. To be fully trained, you've got to go through all 4 phases of learning, which means you get to the maintenance stage. And when you're at the maintenance stage, as long as you maintain the standard, the dog's performance will hover and maintain at excellent or above. If you train to the fluent stage and then you go to a new location, a new variable comes up, new dogs are in the mix, whatever, hunting in a new place. You've trained in the field, but now you're going hunting. Everything falls apart and the dog acts like it doesn't know anything. That's because it's not through the 4 phases or stages of learning. Again, I'll link a blog up and you can check this out. There should be videos on this too. There is a video on this in the lesson. So if you sign up for the preview, you can also watch that video that goes over in depth to that. That's covered that in a nutshell. We train, we acquire the skill. Typically, approximately 70 reps, give or take, is acquired. More than that gets you to fluent, significantly more than that, probably another 150 or so reps. Now you're fluent. And this is where most people think their dog is trained. Okay, your dog's not fully trained there. Your dog's just fluent. And then it takes even more than that to generalize and so on. But you can check out that video in the preview or the blog. I would encourage you to check out the preview because you can actually watch this. Okay, so we do all of that and then we get fluent. That's what week 3 is about. We want to cover place and you still want to have fun with your dog. So we're going to train about 4 days a week, do about 4 sessions, or with puppies, we do short sessions. How long should your session be? 2 to 3 minutes as a puppy. And you should do about 4 of those each of the days you train. What do you do in between sessions? Put your dog in the crate. You've been crate training your dog at this point, so put it in the crate. Why do we do this? You do not want your puppy running around in the yard sniffing things in between sessions. Why? Because it's losing attention span. It's getting distracted. Every smell that it does burns mental energy. So you want to kind of compact all the puppy's mental energy into those 4 sessions so that you get the most effective reps and results. That's all I have time for this episode, but that is week 3. We're teaching our dog how to learn on place. We're teaching the place command without the vocal command. Just let it happen in free shape until the dog actually sits on place and you've got the behavior you're looking for. You now at this stage know a lot. You're already learning more than most have learned along most of their dog training journey. You're getting some of the most core fundamental pieces here, and it's going to help you be successful. Like I said, check out the preview, and as you go, look, this podcast is great. I think you're going to enjoy it, but there's even more that's available to you, and it is covered in depth, step by step, every step of the way, and you can see a dog going through the actual process, watching the dog learn for the very first time, what it looks like when things go wrong, and how to overcome those things. Know where to start, what to do next, how to solve problems, and that's in Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy's step-by-step online course, and it'll walk you through each step of the way. Plus, you're surrounded by people that want to see you be successful, thousands of other people on this same journey that are there to rally around you, encourage you, everybody at different levels to help you along the way. And you can find that at cornerstonegundoggacademy.com. One other thing, if you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to this, please leave a review if you're getting a lot of value out of it. Share it with someone that you think could use it. And I will see you in the next episode for week 4. Can't wait to see you there.